Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Treehouse, where we drink a lot of beer, solve nothing, and then in part 2, talk about world politics and world issues after drinking a lot of beer. Stick around.
I'm stupid, you're smart. I was wrong, you were right. You're the best, I'm the worst. You're very good looking, I'm not attractive.
I've got a plan.
Today, we're going to Farnham House Brewing. Again, sticking in my neighborhood, Farnham House Brewing happens to be just down the street from me. As you can see here, walking in, you just park right across the street, walk across the crosswalk, and you're inside. As you know, we're in a pandemic. For all those who don't know or watch this later time, everyone's got to wear masks, and we got to get everything to go. So here's their beer menu. Here's what they got inside. I really enjoy the space. I really think Farnham House is a cool place. Their food is really good, so I'd highly recommend going there. The bar staff here is really good, and as you can see, their tap selection here is really top notch. The whole team here does really good work. I've enjoyed them for many years, and as you can see here, it's just you go in, you get your crowlers, and you hop out. You don't get a chance to have the atmosphere and enjoyment. As you know, we're all in a pandemic. I will say, as you can see here on video, I skedaddled next door. Beertopia is a place right next door to Farnham House, so support your local bottle shops and support your local breweries. Beertopia right here next door, you go in, you can check and see all the different beers. They have a pretty good selection. It is a small store. Bottle shops don't need to be massive by any means because they have a good selection, and that's important. The staff's usually pretty good. I have had in the history of this place had hit or miss, but this time I went in, staff was great, good teams, asked what I was looking for, kind of just said I'm not really looking for anything, I'm just looking around. And I mean that like genuinely, because I'm just looking to see what catches my attention nowadays with beer. Walk out of there, hop in the 4Runner, and head back home. As we look through Farnham House, their brewing company has a very long bio. I'm not going to go through this. Apparently it's written by one of the wives, and I don't want to read through the whole thing. You can read it on their Untappd page. However, Tony and Phil do a really good job. You can click through from here to what's going on in their social medias. They do have a Twitter account. Their last update was March 23rd. And they do have a social media account on Instagram. Their last update was 3 days ago. And before that, a few days before that, Mother's Day. Farnham House has over 222 beers listed on Untappd. I've only checked in 12 of them. So basically what that says is I'm pretty much stuck on the staples. And I probably haven't checked in all the ones I've had. But they have a really good collection. So their Saison Brett Harvest is really good. Their Grisette, I've had that. That's really good too. And just a lot of really good stuff in here. I'd recommend going down there. The selection is very diverse. As you can see here on the tap list, you can go down and pick up a growler of anything that you see on here, ranging in price. If you have a growler from them, it's a little bit cheaper, obviously. See here, Nordic Pale pours out at a very different color than what you would suspect. It almost has a Saison look to it, kind of a funky nose as well, and that's because it's a farmhouse ale with a Saison taste to it, a Saison lean. Interesting story, my dog is named Saison. My partner and I met over a beer, and we are avid beer advocates, as you can tell from this episode, and our dog is named after Saison Brett from Boulevard Brewing Company. It's one of our favorite beers, and every time we find it, we always drink it. So our dog is named Saison. This happens has a little Saison funk to it, and exactly on the mark. Again, you gotta know what you're getting into. These guys have a lot of funk in their beers. It's not a true West Coast. It's not a true New England. It always tends to have a funk. The other beer we're gonna be drinking though is said to be a New England IPA. So when I open up that can, pour that in, we'll have that on video, and then we'll taste test that and we'll see what's going on. All right, I got 2 of these to go. I got 2 32-ounce crowlers. I got a lot of good beer to drink. I'm going to research some stories and things I want to talk about in part 2, where the drunk smarts kick in after drinking all those beers, and I get a rant about what's going on in the world, politics, sports, injustices, what I think is great, what I think is bad, and everything in between. So stick around for part 2, where the beer kicks in and the fun starts. Talk to you soon. Is it 6 a.m.? Is it 6 p.m.? Does it really matter anymore? We're in the middle of a pandemic. But I can tell you, when I want my coffee, I want a little beer with my coffee. Nothing says that like a Luna Joe cold brew coffee from Deschutes. Sure, may give you a little bit of caffeine. Sure, may get you a little bit up, a little bit down. Maybe nobody needs to know that you're drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning on that conference call. Mind your own shit, Becky. have a beer, have a coffee, have a Deschutes Luna Brew. Drink up. Welcome back to part 2. Let's do this right. Drunk smarts are kicking in, having a little bit of fun, and why not? Because you look at the internet, and we live in a shit show. And we're not even talking about Florida. Yet. Looking down here, we have a bar owner who bans customers from wearing masks inside. And you know what? If that's your shtick, do it, Elgin, Texas. You can't wear a mask in this guy's establishment. Let me be the first to tell you, that's how this works, America. If a person says you have to wear a mask, there can be a business that says you don't have to wear a mask. That's how it works, because there is no government regulation, there is no state laws, there is no anything in a lot of these states. And then you, as a public, get to choose which one you go to. As you can see here, Elgin's Main Street is where we find a popular tavern banning masks. It is more of a pushback. The snitches and the contact tracers out there said Kevin Smith, co-owner of the Liberty Tavern, this is rural country. All right, Kevin Smith from Elgin, Texas, you do what you gotta do. But let's take a little look here real quick and see where exactly is Elgin. It's pretty rural. It's outside of Austin, Texas over here, and it's not exactly close, but it's not exactly far. So you get to be a little rural. The likelihood of people from Austin heading out there, pretty slim. The likelihood of people from Elgin going to Austin, pretty slim as well. Let's be honest, it's Texas. Last but not least, I hate government in general, but also old white guys and old white ladies telling you that you have to keep doing it the way they've been doing it because their thin-skinned boomer lifestyles and their participation trophies have gotten them this far, goddammit, and their parents didn't leave them millions of dollars so that you stupid millennials can tell them what to do. Never mind, the millennials are now somewhere in their 30s and they're still referencing 18-year-olds, but like, so let's look at that. We look down here and Mr. McCarthy is over here exploding at the House floor about Congress holds first ever vote by proxy. Kevin McCarthy doesn't want you to not come to DC because Kevin McCarthy needs to get his money, goddammit, and fuck you for staying home. Hey, some news broke after I shot Section 2, so I cut out some of the stories from Section 2, and I'm going to link what's going on right now. But some representatives from the House Representatives in the Pennsylvania House knowingly got diagnosed, hid it from each other, and then hid it from their colleagues across the aisle purposefully.
This crisis, the state government committee in Pennsylvania has met so that their members could line up one after one after one and explain that it was safe to go back to work. It was safe to go back to race car driving or dog grooming or getting your hair cut. Meanwhile, what we're learning is that during that time period, they were testing positive. They were notifying one another and they didn't notify us.
He drops a bombshell in there about how they knowingly risked other people's lives, and to top it off, he had donated a kidney, so he is obviously immunocompromised, and someone in the House of Representatives at Pennsylvania has endangered all these people, all their lives, all their family. This is crazy. So it broke after I did the recording. I'm going to put this link in here, but this is 100% unacceptable. This is exactly the kind of stuff that, like, you should leave office for if this is true. If all this is true, this is unexcusable. This is crazy. I don't have words for how crazy this is. So check it out. It's 11 minutes long. It's well worth the full watch. And best of luck, everybody. That being said, I want to thank you for spending your day with me today. I want to just thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. Cheers to all of you. Remember, never violate rule number 1. The best beer in the world is the beer you're currently drinking. Have a good day. Thank you for your time.